This NASCAR Playoffs 2025 Betting Picks edition of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE, SGPN.
Driver, start your engine!
Strap in and pull those belts up tight as the Sports Gambling Podcast Network presents the NASCAR Gambling Podcast.
I'm just gonna put my foot on the floor and I'm not lifting till I see God or a checkered flag.
My man.
With all the news and the best bets for your NASCAR weekend.
We want to thank you tonight for these mighty machines that you brought before us. Thank you for the Dodges and the Toyotas. Thank you for the Fords. Lord, I want to thank you for my smoking hot wife tonight, Lisa. In Jesus' name, boogity, boogity, boogity.
Now, here are your hosts, Rod Villagomez and Cody Zeeb.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. He's Cody Zeeb. I'm Rod Villagomez, back from assignment, and happy to be sitting in the captain's seat. And Cody, from what I can understand, if I heard you correctly several times over, you're kind of happy I'm in this seat as well.
Oh, I'm so happy, Rod. Welcome back. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. Have fun.
You know, it's like I've said before, and it's funny because I've said this to you a couple of times over. Every time I come back from somewhere and you've had to run solo, you're like, man, I don't know. And I keep telling people, you think it's easy. You think anybody can do it.
It's not. Well, there's a lot going on. And the being by yourself part doesn't help either because there's a lot of things to do. But also, you do a lot of shit throughout the whole show. Like when you're doing the ad reads and stuff, I'm just over here like fucking around and taking a drink and writing down notes. But when you got to do the whole thing, shit, that's a lot of work.
Well, I'm glad that you appreciate me when I'm out of the house, but it is good to be back, guys. And it's good to be talking, Cody, on a Monday, first and foremost. That's a very odd day for most folks. They're not used to seeing us on Mondays anymore. Unfortunately, no recap show still, but we've got some good stuff for you today.
Well, we need to recap who won a race here in a second, Rod. But, yeah. Playoffs. We're talking playoffs? We're talking playoffs. Let's fucking go. A little bonus episode. Shout out to the bosses for giving us the opportunity to do something extra. Chat is popping already on a Monday, Rod. I wanted to go back pre the comments we can see right here. There was some people who jumped in the stream. Stan Dinglis checked in. He said, I predict that Marcus will predict Christopher Bell wins the championship. The next message. Hi, everyone, from Marcus. And I think that Marcus is going to predict that Christopher Bell will probably win the championship. So shout out to Marcus, shout out to Stan, shout out to Dos Flacos. Cheers, boys. We've got at the end of this, so we're going to go through our playoff. Hey, cheers. I got a little Sun Cruiser pink lemonade. This is good stuff. I don't know if you've had it, Rod.
No.
Very, very delicious stuff. But we're going to go through our playoff brackets for the Cup Series, give out our best bets for the Cup Series, and then we're going to sprinkle in some futures as well for Xfinity and Trucks. So, no, Dos Flacos is a big fan of Mr. Majeski, and maybe he'll come up in that section, Rod. We'll have to see. Andrew checking in says, fuck Caesars. All his homies hate Caesars. I got to agree with them, Rod. Fuck Caesars. Rod, I have a question for you. In the record books at NASCAR.com, NASCAR official app, racing reference, driver averages, who won the Xfinity Series race on Friday night?
Let me see. I'm looking at, this is Connor Zilisch. Who's that?
No, he did not, Rod. He did not win. He was not in the car at the end of the day. Now, Caesars, they offered you Connor Zilisch to win, knowing fair and well, a predetermined outcome that Connor Zilisch was not going to finish that race. It was known before the race. They chose not to offer Parker Kligerman. So they offered you a bet that had a predetermined outcome, that it was going to be a loser. Then they scored it as a loser. I'd keep that in mind if you want to bet on Caesars, because they're a bunch of fucking crooks, Rod. That's how I feel about that. I got to agree with Andrew there. So that being said, let's hear from some of our great partners that aren't Caesar.
How about our bosses, the big guys, Sports Gambling Podcast? They're giving away $1,000 Circa Future bets with their phrase that pays. Submit that phrase now at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/phrase. As you know, they've given you all 32 teams. They've hidden a word. Well, okay, they haven't hidden a word. They've told you the word flat out what it is. And so you collect all 32 words, put them all down in a word jumble, and go to town, and then enter at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/phrase. And plus, the SGPN just launched their NFL Survivor Contest. $100 entry, winner takes all. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/survivor.
I love a good Survivor contest, Rod.
Me too. I'm going to go enter that a couple of times. Okay.
At least for all 2 weeks, I'm playing it usually.
At least only once for sure. Yeah, some crazy racing going down at the Daytona International Speedway last week. A lot of entertaining racing, by the way. I actually had a very good time watching all those races, regardless of who was winning, because obviously we all said sit back and enjoy it and have a good time with it. And, whether you don't cash anything or or Bubba Wallace gets freaking sandwiched, takes out all the...
That was Kyle Larson's fault. Kyle Larson caused that wreck.
That was
Kyle Larson. I don't know if he just thinks he's driving a snowplow out there or what, but all he does is, it's like he doesn't understand how to bump draft somebody. He thinks you just hit somebody as hard as fucking possible. And yeah, whatever. That's a conversation for another day.
It most certainly is.
You did give out Connor Zilisch as the winner, Rod. Of course, on some of the real true books, that bet did cash. I guess, I don't know. Like I said multiple times last week while I was doing those shows, make sure you check the book's rules, but Caesars doesn't have any rules. Like I read the rules, and the rules would not make you believe that they would not cash that bet. And they offered the bet knowing the outcome of the bet, Rod. That seems to be, if you knew the outcome of a sporting event and you bet on that sporting event, I feel like you would be like arrested for that.
I mean, or if you were doing it through like a back alley bookie, then you would get your fingers just crunched off, right? Those guys they'd come after you with a sledgehammer.
Yeah, and DraftKings too, by the way, also did not pay out. So, well, they did. I don't know. It was weird. They paid out head-to-heads against him, which was even more stupid potentially. I wouldn't complain about that if you cashed the ticket, but
strange. I will say though that I was obviously on a long Army weekend, so I didn't get to actually see the announcement that he was getting swapped out. And I know that when we did the Xfinity show, we didn't know that too, right? When we did the Xfinity show, we didn't know that.
We did. You didn't. You weren't here.
Oh, you did the Xfinity show. That's right.
I did the Xfinity show. Yes, but no, at that point, the video had just come out, and Zilisch was pretty certain that he was going to get out right away. And then as we got closer to the race, like it was basically, that's the plan. I mean, nobody thought that he was going to stay in there. He said it in multiple interviews. Kligerman was right there, standing there with the fire suit on, helmet in hand, ready the second a first caution came out. That was the plan. So just shitty of them. I mean, be more clear, rewrite your rules maybe so that it is clear. They're very unclear in their rules. Any reasonable person, Rod, if I was using lawyer terms, would conclude that Connor Zilisch bet would cash for that. So I don't know. It's tough to, again, I would like to say read the rules, but it's not in the rules. So no. I don't know. I guess be careful who you trust. And if you got a different option besides Caesars, I honestly, I wouldn't use them because clearly they don't care.
Well, and I mean, if they need more proof, just point them to the NASCAR website where I'm staring at Connor Zilisch's face right here.
Everything, nothing official. And then like that, one of their rules is something about, I don't have the exact verbiage right in front of me, but it's something about if determined by the governing body that this is the outcome, then all that result is final. Like, well, look, here's Connor Zilisch's fucking face on the app. It's on the website. Like, he won this race, and all official records will say Connor Zilisch was the winner of this race. So in some books offered it as Zilisch / Kligerman because they fucking knew. but I don't know. Well, we spent too much time on this, but it's ridiculous and it's very frustrating. So catching up with the chat.
I equate it real quick to the catch-all on any regulation. Commander's discretion. Caesars used commander's discretion.
Well, that's the entire NASCAR rule book, right?
At NASCAR's
discretion, right? So I guess, yeah, it's unfortunate because I get that they're in the business of making money, right? And they obviously make plenty of it. And you shouldn't be gambling, and especially at Daytona, to pay your bills. But it's the principle of it. And could we at least be honest about this? You knew what was going on here. And, so it's just shitty.
It is.
But Justin checking in. Cheers, boys. We're riding this fucking Briscoe train till the wheels fall off. Yes, we are. Doslacco says Elliott plus 900. Not even a fan. Just don't bet him on Caesars. Good advice. Denver Thurston checking in. SVG might not look like the sharpest knife in the playoffs, but he is the most dangerous knife in the playoffs. The other 15 drivers will underestimate him in the first round. I'll be interested to see, Rod, how far you have SVG going, because if you can get past the first round, Roval, Talladega in the next couple of rounds, SVG in the Final Four. Could we see it? Andrew, yes, we know, buddy. Daniel's calling Ryan Blaney to be his 2025 champ. JDK echoes the fuck Caesars thing. Daniel says he's been dumping all his bonus bets on Blaney since the Super Bowl.
Ooh.
That's actually, I love that. That's such a great idea. And Derek, our buddy Derek, on one of his podcasts last year had a guy on that was talking about that. Like, you pick a couple of drivers maybe, and just like every single bonus bet, you just pour all, and then by the end of the year, like, you now have just piles and piles of free money essentially that you put on these. Maybe not on Caesars, because who knows, they probably won't fucking pay you. But it's actually a pretty solid thing. So I do like that. But yeah, JB checking in. Hopefully all enjoy the playoffs. Thank you.
I think we will.
And shout out to all of you guys.
Indeed. All right. Well, then, so like Cody said, we're going to go over the playoff brackets, and then we'll start going over some of our favorite bets. And I think the playoff brackets is what we will go to first, because I feel like that's going to take a majority of the time that we got going on. And then, of course, as we talk through these playoff brackets, it'll pretty much explain why also that we're putting the bets that we're putting on them, because it's sort of all hand in hand and lockstep in it. So we'll definitely make sure to do that. But before we do any of that, Cody, I think it is time for us to look at our friends over at MyBookie. We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is literally your place to bet every single thing in the world, and a bunch of things that you've never thought of. I'm going to give you one here in a little bit too that you're going to want as well. They got NFL, college football. They've got all kinds of good stuff, like I said, and they accept customers from a ton of locations. There's easy deposit, lightning fast payout using cryptocurrency. I was giving out the other day hurling. Again, if you don't know what hurling is, then you need to go check out hurling, because that is a fantastic sport. But I will give you futsal. Yeah, futsal. It's indoor soccer, by the way. So the Brazilians have indoor soccer, and then tomorrow they've got a game between Dracena and Cresso Maricop Futsal. I'm going to give you the underdog, plus 362 for Dracena to win that futsal game. You can find that over on MyBookie, plus 362. Take the underdog. They're both kind of bad in the standings right now. They're both not necessarily playing the best futsal they can, but I think the underdog is a good play here, especially at plus 362. So head to mybookie.ag, use the promo code SGPN for a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And now, college football is back on Rhythm. Last season, Rhythm predictive models had a 22% ROI. Hold on. How about NFL is back on Rhythm? Last season, Rhythm was 76 and 66 against the spread and 22 and 19 on over-unders. They really shined on player props. How about Tyreek Hill? They were 13 and 5 on Tyreek Hill props. That's 31% ROI. Rhythm also has MLB, WNBA, golf, and college football. Go to the site today. Start building your NFL models for week 1 and get yourself a day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm.
Thank you so much, Rod. I really appreciated that last ad read, because they make it super confusing on our ad reads that you're supposed to read the college football one. And I also began to do so, and then was like, fuck, this is not the right one, and quickly shifted to the NFL. So if the pros can mess it up, I don't feel so bad.
Well, and then of course I've been gone for a little while, so I forgot how they rearranged the chairs and I sat down in the wrong chairs. It's fine.
I love it.
All right. So then, Cody, the playoff brackets are available now over on NASCAR, and you started us a contest already because that's what you do.
Yeah. So NASCAR has their official playoffs grid challenge. If you go over to just NASCAR.com or the fantasy NASCAR game, you can enter that. But if you'd like to join our league, I created a league, Rod. It's called the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. So hopefully you guys can find that. I did put a password on there. I don't want just any Joe Blow joining. I'd like it to be listeners. The password is capital D in D-Gens only. That's it. So capital D, the rest is all lowercase, D-Gens only. Go over there, sign up, join us in that contest. And Rod, we're going to give the winner a NASCAR Gambling Podcast hoodie from the merch store. So you get to pick out your color and all that fun stuff once the contest is over. So yeah, join in that. You get to pick your 16 down to 12, down to 8, down to 4, and pick your champions. So we're about to do the same thing, but yeah, head over there to that. And again, the group is called NASCAR Gambling Podcast, and the password is D-Gens only with a capital D at the beginning.
I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of tiebreakers being used because we have a lot of smart folks in this group.
Yes, make sure you read the rules and whatever. Hopefully NASCAR has their house rules laid out appropriately.
Gotta love it. Okay, well then, Cody, as we know, there are 16 drivers in the round of 16. I did that math all by myself. Nobody helped me.
That's pretty clever. That's clever they did it. This is not college football.
No.
The Big Ten has 47 teams, and the Pac-12 has 2. 16 is 16 here, and we didn't even add Jeff Gordon in this playoffs, so
no,
we're keeping it true.
Don't get me started on college football either. Bad day for Fresno State. Horrible. All right, so there's 16 drivers in this round of 16. It begins as such. We'll go down the list. How about Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Shane Van Gisbergen, Chase Elliott, Chase Briscoe, the Chase brothers, the law firm of Chase and Chase, Bubba Wallace, Austin Cindric, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, Josh Berry, rockin' and rollin', Tyler Reddick by the skin of his teeth, Austin Dillon, and Alex Bowman also by the skin of his teeth in this round of 16. That's an eclectic mix, Cody. We saw, obviously, it come down to just a battle of attrition last week at Daytona between Bowman and Reddick. And if there was a new winner, then Bowman would have been gone.
Final lap was scary if you were in the Alex Bowman fan club. So, and just, if you're newer to this or you don't exactly know how this works, they've been earning playoff points all throughout the year. It's been talked about, right? Every time you win a stage, you get a playoff point. Every time you win a race, you get 5 playoff points. Regular season champion William Byron got 15. Second place, I think, got 10, and then so on and so forth throughout there. So not only are these the 16 guys, but some guys have a bigger advantage or almost a mulligan that they could use. I don't know that we have any full mulligans here this season, but you can, of course, go check that out over at NASCAR.com. But Kyle Larson and William Byron are tied atop the stands, so they have 26 points good over the cut line currently. Denny Hamlin's 23, Ryan Blaney's 20, Christopher Bell 17, SVG 16 playoff points. That's kind of a big drop-off. Elliott is 7 to the good, Briscoe's 4 to the good, Bubba's 2 to the good, Cindric's 2 to the good, Chastain and Logano 1 to the good each, and already below the cut line with work to do, Josh Berry, Tyler Reddick, Austin Dillon, and Alex Bowman. So, essentially those guys have been, so they reset everybody to 2,000 points in the playoffs, and then they're awarded there. So Byron and Larson each got 32 points, so they have 2,032, so on and so forth, down to Alex Bowman, who just had 2 playoff points, so he's at 2,002. So they will go through these first 3 races, and then the points will once again reset. Any playoff points you had previously earned or now will earn in this round will roll over with you to the next round, and so on and so forth. So there are drivers that do have an advantage coming into this based on how they've done so far this season, and 4 wins, adds up a lot or 3 wins rather. Was it 3 or 4 for Shane? Shane's got 3.
Shane's got 3. No, 4.
Yes. 4.
No. Yeah.
So
4.
how does he only have? Oh, he is 16 above, but he's got 22. Okay, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah. So 22 playoff points is could really help him out getting through this round.
That's too confusing, Cody. Just say that they got to keep scoring points now, or they don't, then they stop.
All right, Rod. So I think maybe the easier way to do this is just who's our first 4 out instead of going through each driver individually.
Well, it's funny because I was going to do that. So.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's why you're in charge. I'll let you.
No. Look at we're right here. We're right here. We may be look at this. May be episode 666, but we're not under the. Yeah, you like that?
Ooh, spooky.
Episode 666. All right. So listen, I will give you.
Have to bet on Austin Hill's championship odds now.
Oh God, no! Please. I don't want to touch those with the 10-foot pole. He's going to get dumped the first chance anybody gets. All right. So my first 4 out, Cody. And I guess this is what happens, right? I'm giving you Austin Cindric, Ross Chastain, Josh Berry, and Tyler Reddick. Those are my first 4 out.
Okay, we got 2 of the same guys. I've got Austin Dillon not making the cut. I think it was great to see him get in. By the way, did we talk? I don't know if we said the 3 races in this.
Oh no, we did not. No.
Darlington, Gateway, and Bristol are the 3 races in this first round. So. Yes, I've got Austin Dillon going out. I think it was great for him to win at Richmond. He made it here, but I don't Dillon dropping out. I do agree with you, Tyler Reddick. I think it's just been a rough season for them. There's some rumors starting to swirl now. Don't believe everything you see. I've seen a few screenshots. Bob Pockris saying, Tyler Reddick has, 2311 said Tyler Reddick has told them he's gonna, call and breach a contract, whatever. Bob has not said that, nor has Jenna Fryer or some of these other people. But there are some rumors out there that Tyler Reddick is beginning to explore things because he does have a clause in his contract that if there's not a charter, he can leave. So that's a conversation for another day, or in the Discord where we've been having that conversation today. But I think there's some distractions there. Dos Flacco's putting some things together. Hold up. Episode 666. Sign of the Beast Unlimited. Tyler Reddick.
No.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
We're both kicking him out in the first round, but if you'd like to bet on him, you're more than welcome. So I do have Tyler Reddick going out as well, Rod. I have got Ross Chastain. I don't think that he's going to make it past the first round. I think they've struggled a lot. And I'm kicking Shane Van Gisbergen out in this first round. Not that I don't think he can make it to the next round. I think we've seen some improvements on the ovals. He's got a bit of a cushion, and it's well documented. Playoff drivers are going to have issues. He's going to have to hope he's not one of those. And if he can get into that second round, he's going to be dangerous with the Roval, then with Talladega. But I don't think that I think that's been a valiant rookie season. I think that he will probably win at the Roval still, and we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. But I do not have him advancing through the first round.
Yeah, I have him advancing out of the first round, and maybe I need to rethink that because there's nobody that when we get to the 12, I guess now I have to rethink my strategy because I know the Roval was in there, but it's not a real road course.
That's the thing. Yeah, but he was not going to win a Watkins Glen because all the other guys have been. It doesn't matter, Rod. He's going to win the Roval too. So that's the thing. I think if you do have him going through the round of 16 to the round of 12, you almost have to put him into the round of 8 because if he can get to the round of 12, there is a strong chance he's going to be a massive favorite at the Roval, as he should be, and he is the guy to beat. If you got him going through the first round, I think you almost have to put him, just give him that bye in the second round. I hate to do that in the playoffs because it's the playoffs, but he's going to be a tough man to beat at the Roval.
Okay, so fine. I've updated my bracket because you have brought a very good point to my attention.
But, hey, if you see him getting through that first round, you're just going to have to leave somebody else that you thought was going to make it to the next round out.
Well, and I'm there already. So, so for me, like I said, it was Cindric, Chastain, Berry, and Reddick not making it to the next round. We agreed on a couple of those as well. So then in the round of 12, Cody, now that makes it a little more tough because, like you said, we've got New Hampshire, we've got Kansas, and we've got the Roval. And so, you get the mile track, you get the mile and a half, and then you get the road course.
Well,
so
you could pencil in 2 of these winners right here because Christopher Bell is winning New Hampshire. There's not a question about it. Mm-hmm. And SVG's winning the Roval. There's not a question about that either. So
yep, I got those.
You can just pencil those 2 guys into the next round if you have SVG going this far, which I don't.
So who's missing for you?
Yes, so missing for me, Rod. I have got 1, Josh Berry. I did have him advancing past the first round, but I think this round's going to be a lot tougher for him, especially in the Roval. So I think that will be the end of his swan song. Alex Bowman. I don't think he's going to make it past this round. He got eliminated in this round. He barely made it in through this round last year, and then, of course, post-race disqualification forced him out. I think that we will see the end of him in this one as well. Joey Logano, I think that it's not an even year, or it's not an even year. So I did get him past the first round, but I think the second round is going to be a lot tougher, and I see him getting bounced as well. And his teammate, Austin Cindric, who I had coming to the round of 12, also, I believe, will be eliminated here. So, round of 8, guys, for me is Larson, Byron, Hamlin, Blaney, Bell, Briscoe, Elliott. None of those guys are really a surprise. Bubba Wallace, I do have going on. Maybe he'll be the Kansas winner, although they've not been as good at Kansas lately. But I do have Bubba Wallace penciled in to go to the round of 8 here as kind of the upset, at least so far through the first 2 rounds.
Yeah, I've got Wallace going out in this round. I've got Logano going out in this round, and I've got Bowman going out along with Dillon, because I had Dillon going in. So for me, it's Larson, Blaney, Elliott, Briscoe, SVG, Bell, Byron, and Hamlin. And the only reason, so I did have Logano going, but because I put SVG in, I replaced Hamlin with SVG.
SVG kicking out the reigning champion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is an odd year, right? So this is what happens.
Yeah, agreed.
So, but I know Logano's been good at some of these tracks, but even on an odd year, he's been pretty decent. But yeah, if we're going to give SVG the win at the
Logano's a guy you can never count out very clearly, right? He's made that. He's won the 3 championships, and was never the favorite in any of those years. The first year it was the big 3 and me, like the other 3 guys were winning all the races, and he swoops in and wins the championship. Last year he's eliminated in the round of 12, but gets put in because of the Bowman disqualification. Then he goes and wins Las Vegas, and obviously goes on to win the championship. So don't ever count him out, but we do not have him advancing past this round.
No, we do not. And so that brings us to the final 4, which, Cody, who are your final 4?
Yeah, so my final 4, I've got Dennis Hamlin still chasing that first elusive championship. He makes it to the final round. Chase Briscoe is going to go to Phoenix to race for a championship. William Byron, the regular season champion, I think that he can make it back there. And Ryan Blaney as well. So that eliminates Bubba Wallace, Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell, notably, and Kyle Larson not in my final 4, Rod. I'm sorry, Captain Shook not in my final 4, Rod.
That name so much shook. That name is there.
It did all 3.
It did. All right, well then for my final 4, Ryan Blaney, William Byron, Chase Briscoe, and I'm going to say Christopher Bell gets back in after missing it last year. I think him missing it last year was kind of a wake-up call that it's not a given, and I think he's going to race hard this year for it.
You know what's funny about this is, spoiler alert, but I'm going to make a case to bet on Christopher Bell here in a minute, but yet I don't have him in my final 4, because I think you have to look at the 2 things separately, right? I think in the betting aspect, you're looking at the numbers in particular, and then the bracket is more of a prediction of kind of how you think things will go. So, Hamlin, I almost said Truex. It's just got the number icon on there, Rod. Hamlin, Briscoe, Byron, and Ryan Blaney racing for a championship in my final 4.
So then, I agree up here with one of the viewers that was talking, Daniel, saying Blaney 2025 champ. I got him at the very top of the bracket.
Oh boy, is it going to be 4 years in a row of Penske championships? That would be pretty crazy. But Rod, I'm going to side with our buddy Justin Burton here. Chase Briscoe, his first year in Joe Gibbs Racing Equipment, gets it done. He is my 2025 NASCAR Cup Series champion, Chase Briscoe. Cheers, boys. We are riding this fucking Briscoe train till the wheels fall off. I am with you, buddy, and going to be very invested in that. So, and Hunter as well. He's got Briscoe winning it all. He's going into the playoffs hot after not having a good start to the season. 20-1. Shh, don't spoil it. We'll get there in a second. And Daniel calls you a smart man for agreeing with him. So,
thank you, Daniel.
There you have it. Ryan Blaney for Rod. Chase Briscoe for me as our 2025 Cup Series champions.
And then all of a sudden, SVG wins the whole damn thing and just screws it all up for everybody. So,
oh boy, that would be something, Rod.
Well, look, here's the thing, right? If you want to talk about a bracket buster, and I'll say this because neither one of us have him. Neither one of us are going to talk about him in the betting episode part of it. So, or the betting aspect of it. So here's the thing. If you are a believer in a bracket buster, and if SVG does make it past the first round and then wins the Roval and makes it into the round of 8, right? If he does that, and he's all of a sudden in a position to have a little cushion, right? Maybe he hangs on to it through Vegas, Talladega, and Martinsville because he says he likes short tracks. Short track racing has gotten better for him. So, maybe he does put a good showing up and keeps that little cushion that he's got. So I don't know. If you really believe in a bracket buster, that would be the bracket. But that would be my Cinderella story if you were to take.
Yeah. So I was looking at Final Four odds, and I almost threw him in there just because you can. Again, if he can just serve, all he has to do in the first round is survive. He does not have to go out and look extremely great in these first few races. Just go out, get solid finishes. If he averages like an 18th place finish, is it going to be good enough? Depends how much struggles other people have. But if he can get through it, then he just has to win the at the Roval, which again we've pretty much got him penciled in to already do. And so then, gosh, why am I trying to find some championship odds as I'm talking, Rod? It's not working. I tried this out last week. It didn't work well either. But if he does get into that round of 8, then suddenly, like, we've seen these people, anybody can win at these super speedways, right? He had a good run at Daytona this past week. You can't say he wouldn't do it. So, oh man, just, interesting case. He's 13-1. I finally found the odds to make the Final Four. So, I didn't make the card. I'm going to give out some different guys here in a minute, but I do like it.
He's 20-1 to win the championship altogether. That's a lot of respect for him, given that Briscoe's 20-1. And we'll talk about all that in a little bit. But yeah, that's some pretty good respect. All right, well, those are our brackets. And then Dos Flacco says as long as the champ race is in Phoenix, all Ross needs to do is get to the Final Four.
Yeah, we better do it this year because it's not next year. Going back to Homestead next year. So, well, we don't know that for sure because the championship race will be there. But is the playoff format the same? We don't know. So we'll see.
A lot of don't knows, but join in on our bracket challenge. Obviously, you go to the NASCAR Bracket Challenge site, search for the NASCAR Gambling Podcast Contest. You could win a free hoodie, and the password, like Cody said, capital D, DGens only.
That's right. You got it, Rod. So go ahead and get entered over there, and we will give the winner a NASCAR Gambling Podcast hoodie.
Yes, we will.
Well, I think it says Racing Gambling Podcast because we can't really use the word NASCAR, but yeah, same difference.
License.
Maybe it just has our logo on it. I don't remember.
It does. It just has our logo cool and then podcast on it. My daughter has a cool one.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So there you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, because she's the only sophomore wearing a gambling podcast hoodie in the school. And, she's a DGen from the beginning. Gotta love it.
Slow clean.
All right, let's talk gambling and degeneracy when we come back from the break. But before we do, I want to tell all our friends about Underdog. Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million. Oh, that's even more. $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. There's no waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is quite literally the best place and the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog is also a great place to play Pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Korean baseball, it's a thing. It's awesome. It's amazing. I've been to a couple of games before in my life, and one of them I'll talk about right now, the Lotte Giants taking on the KT Wiz. How about Victor Reyes? His hits and runs and RBIs, 2.5 is what they're giving you at Underdog as the projection. I'm going to take the lower than on this one. I know it's only 0.84, but I mean, look, he's only done it a couple of times. He actually didn't have that many. He only had 3 hits last night. Yes, he did, but 2-0 before that, 2 before that, 2 before that. And then against KT, he's only done it twice. The KT Wiz. Victor plays for the Lotte Giants, by the way. And like I said, not really doing it against KT this season. So go ahead and take Victor Reyes of the Lotte Giants, lower than 2.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. and do not look back. You can do all of that by going with our brand new offer as well for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with our promo code RACE-SGPN. Let's talk about Circa for a second. The world's greatest sportsbook, Circa Las Vegas, is hosting the world's biggest pro football contest, Circa Million, Circa Survivor, and Circa Grandissimo, with over $21 million in guaranteed prizes. You can sign up in Nevada and play anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGP. You're going to get a $50 off of your proxy fees. Contest close on Sunday, September the 3rd, so get in right meow. Yes, sir. You know, it's funny. So I went when I was in Korea to the Lotte Giants, and that, first of all, the stadium's amazing. Second of all, the atmosphere is so much better than American baseball because, you know, the American baseball, it's, you know, crowd, fun, yay, right? But no, they had cheerleaders. Like, everybody had their own chants. Like, it was electric, man. And I never wanted to watch a baseball game anywhere else again. And unfortunately, I did have to come back and watch baseball in the States and get disappointed.
Unfortunately, you've had to watch it again. But yeah, well, that's pretty cool that you got to watch it in person, though. I like that.
I know. I love it. Love it. Miss it. But all right, let's talk gambling. Let's talk about the championship odds. Cody and I have put together some of our favorite bets in the championship 4. And then, of course, to win the whole thing. And we're going to toss in some Trucks and Xfinity. I know the Xfinity still got another race, right, to go, another couple of races to go for their playoffs.
They have 2 more before they actually begin their playoffs. But hey, we're looking at futures now. We have this opportunity, so might as well look at all of it.
Indeed. So, Cody, we just talked about who's going to make the Final Four. What do our betting cards look like for that?
Well, Rod, we did. There are a couple of books offering to make the Final Four, and I was trying to pull up. I know MGM is for sure. I think
MGM's the only one. MGM and I think not ESPN. Is it Hard Rock?
No, not ESPN. I thought maybe Bet365 is the other one.
Probably. You're pretty good about that. I just looked at BetMGM.
Yeah, they are as well. So, gosh, this has moved already. So that's exciting.
We're already moving lines?
Yeah, we're moving lines apparently. Well, I'm going to have to change. I had Ryan Blaney was plus 110 earlier today, but apparently you guys have already fucking hammered that. He's now minus 180 on MGM.
Oh my God, to make the Final Four?
So yeah, we're gonna
man.
toss that out. So I'm gonna skip to my next one, and then I'll come back with one of the more favorites that I like instead of that. That's too bad. If you do see a Blaney out there at plus money or around even money, I would definitely snatch that. But Chase Briscoe is a guy that I'm zeroing in on. You know, at plus 325 over on BetMGM, Rod. Obviously, I just declared him my champion, so I like that. If he can get to Phoenix, that's obviously a track he's been very good at in the past, and they've been, you know, stellar on the short flats so far this season. But you look at his path to get there. Darlington, obviously, through the round of 16 here, he won at last year to get into the playoffs with Stewart Haas Racing. Now he's going back there in a much better situation than he was last year. So you love that for him. Gateway should be a fine track for him, a shorter, flatter track. And Bristol, I think that they'll be good there as well. Then in the next round, you go to New Hampshire, where he's another short, flat track. And Truex was amazing there, so you know he's going to be good there. Kansas should be a fine track for him. He's been good everywhere lately, so not overly concerned at any of these. And the Roval, he's been the best race car driver on road courses lately, outside of that SVG guy who's just been amazing. So then in the final round, you know, Talladega obviously is the big wild card in there, but Vegas should be a good track for him. And Martinsville has been a very good track for him in the past. So I think the path for him to get to Phoenix in the Final Four is a pretty strong path. You look at how good they are at qualifying. Track position has been so important this season. If you can get that track position, they started the season out rough. We said that they were going to do it, right? But once they got it figured out, they have gotten it figured out. Some great tracks coming up for them. You know, there's been a lot of talk about a lot of shorter, flatter tracks in these playoffs, and that does pan out well for the Penske bunch, which is going to be part of another argument here in a few. But that also pans out well, particular for guys like Chase Briscoe, guys like Christopher Bell as well. So, yeah, give me Chase Briscoe. Honestly, like of all these Final Four ones, even of the championship ones, this might be my favorite bet. You're going to plus 325. That's a great number. And I foresee Chase Briscoe getting to the Final Four. So I love that one.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, obviously, I'm taking William Byron. He's done it already the last couple of seasons, finishing third in both of those. So he's already like back-to-back. Yeah, he's coming in, and he's plus money. He's plus 115 still on BetMGM, and I don't know why he's being disrespected as much as he is, given that he's coming in second, right? And you look at the first round of the playoffs, you come in Darlington, he actually came in second. Bristol, earlier this season, he came in sixth. And then Worldwide Technology, that may be the weakest of it, 19th, 8th, and 15th in those three races there. But if you build up a big enough cushion, or if you happen to win one of the two races, like Darlington, he started on the pole and finished second, right? And then Bristol came from 26th to 6th, had a really strong run that day. So I feel like he could point his way in, given what he's already coming in with now. And then past that, I mean, you look at New Hampshire, Kansas, and the Roval. Like William Byron, obviously good at all of those. His summer slump is now over. And, Las Vegas, Talladega, Martinsville, he's definitely good at all of those particular tracks as well. Vegas, he had a 4th place finish. Dover was a 31st because he crashed out of that one. But, he's traditionally been good there as well. And Talladega and Martinsville. Look, he's definitely got a path to get there again. And I think plus 115 is a very generous, given that I just think he's going to do it. We've seen him be strong when he needs to be, and this is the time where he's starting to be strong, and he's got a pretty decent points cushion built up now that he can kind of ride his way into the Final Four. And again, I like the plus money angle of this one. So give me William Byron, top 4, plus 115.
Yeah, I like this play as well. Obviously, I had him in my Final Four, so that would make sense. And I found it, Rod. If you want to take the risk of betting on Caesars, I can't say that I suggest that, but they do have Ryan Blaney at plus 110. You might message them and ask if that's actually Ryan Blaney, or if they maybe are considering that to be somebody else, because they can be a little bit, fishy. But I will still give that out at plus 110, being the fact that, over at BetMGM and Bet365, it's minus hell of money. I think that's a great opportunity to get in on Ryan Blaney. We've obviously seen him, Penske has been great about making the Final Four. They've been great about winning the championship, having won 3 in a row. And Blaney's really had the best car in multiple championship races there. But his path, to get there, he is going in hotter than anybody. He just won at Daytona. So you like to see that extra 5 playoff points that he earned from that. So that can help carry him from round to round. But you got some good tracks in here for him. Gateway, Bristol at the first round. Second round, I don't know if there's any that really jump out that he should be good, but he's just a solid race car driver. Talladega, Martinsville in the final round, those are very big positives for him if he can get to that round of 8. So, yeah, Ryan Blaney, he's a guy that I've got in my championship 4. I think, did you have him in your championship 4 as well?
Well, I had him going all the way.
Yeah, that's right. He's your champion. So by way of that, he would be in your Final Four. So, yeah, if you want to take the risk over at Caesars, you can still get him at plus 110.
Yeah, again, it's a matter of, for me, not only am I doing that, but I'm also going to take him as the champ, right? So at 6-1, everything that you said, and I already said it too in my bracket contest, I just feel like Blaney has hit his stride again. Right? When you let Blaney get hot, when you let Blaney win a race like that, especially a race where he probably was like, and he said it too, he's like, I didn't think I was going to win this thing, but I'm just glad that I hung on and did. Well, guess what? You just gave him all the momentum that he needs to carry himself all the way through to the very end of this. And if I think he's going to make the championship 4, especially out of the 4 that I picked earlier, right? With Blaney, Byron, Briscoe, and Bell. Bell, to me, has the biggest wild card of them all, because he's just had such a gigantically up and down season, whereas Blaney's just been super consistent all year long. Byron came out hot, fell into a summer slump. He's heating up again. He'll make the Final Four, but, and then Briscoe, yeah, the wheels, when they fall off, they'll fall off, and I think this is where they end up falling off. So I think Blaney, especially at 6-1, I know it's tough to repeat. I get it, but if anybody can do it, Ryan Blaney can do it.
He's not repeating because Joey won.
That's right. Joey won last year.
Yeah. So it'd be second in 3 years. And I don't think it's crazy, obviously. So I like the number. I have one more Final Four to give out, Rod, before my championship picks. Alex Bowman, you get him at 9-1 at MGM. If you're looking for a longer shot, it's kind of looking like, who do I really think has a shot? Josh Berry at 15-1. You could certainly build a case. Las Vegas in the round of 8. He won there in the spring. If he can get there, yes. Dylan, I don't think you can really build the case. SVG, we kind of built the case earlier. Cindric, I have a different case to build for him in a few, I guess. Bubba Wallace, but Alex Bowman at 9-1. Look, he's a Hendrick car. I know he just barely snuck in and was fine, but we've seen him. He is a guy that just goes out and minds his P's and Q's. He gets solid results, which in the playoffs, yes, winning gets you to the next round automatically, and so that's obviously huge and can be big. But the consistency, getting the good finishes helps a ton. He should have made the round of 8 last year, got disqualified for being a little bit light, probably didn't make that big of a difference in the race. So, yeah, I think that getting him to go to the Final Four, 9-1 on a Hendrick car, yes, he's the last driver in. Yes, he's starting behind the 8 ball because he doesn't have the playoff points behind him. But if you want a longer shot to take for the Final Four, at 9-1 just to get to Phoenix, I think is worth a shot on the 48 car.
I think any of those drivers on the bubble are good long shot dart throws because they're just going to be out to win. That's all they want to do. The strategy, they're going to be off strategy with everybody else. They're going to be trying to just figure out how to win a race in that round. And they're going to throw all they have at winning a race. And that's kind of dangerous and scary if you think about it, Cody, because that's, these guys, if they make the right call, if the caution lands at just the right time, that could work out for them.
He does win when you least expect it, and he's about due for that next, oh shit, Alex Bowman won a race that nobody saw coming. So that could definitely help him get there. A couple more predictions coming in the chat. Rod Marcus, go ahead and cash that ticket from earlier. He predicts Christopher Bell will win the championship. We'll talk about that here in a second. John Ray saying Kyle Larson or William Byron will win the championship. And Truth Matters is advocating for Ryan Blaney. Pencil him in as the top 4 the rest of the season. He's going to be the favorite every week, I'll tell you that.
Most certainly will. Probably be the one, too, I tell you. He's gonna be trucking along pretty nicely for the rest of the season. And just like John Ray says, I'll go ahead and give you William Byron as a second championship pick. Plus 650 over there on FanDuel is a good number for him. I mean, he hasn't done it yet in a while. And, it's been a couple of years since he's been able to drive himself to a championship. But if you look at what he's done in Phoenix, obviously he won in 2023 in the spring, 4th place in the fall in 2023, 18th, 3rd, and 6th after starting on the pole in the spring here earlier. I mean, all he's got to do is finish better than the other 3, right? And maybe 6th place is good enough to do that in the championship round. You never know. So, again, if he makes it to the Final Four, he's definitely going to be dangerous. I feel like 650 might be too big of a number to hang on William Byron, given that you've seen championship caliber racing out of him before. And, I think we kind of underplay it because of the fact that he has been pretty much streaky through the summer of not finishing well. But again, he's back on his horse. He's starting to run well.
They fixed that going into the playoffs, which is kind of what you expect out of the team. And I've got him in my Final Four as well. So I think getting him at that number is pretty solid. For my outrights, Rod, I've got 3 of them that I'm going to give out, and it's going to start with Christopher Bell. You can get him at plus 650 over on FanDuel. Some different books have him a lot shorter than that, but still a little bit of a bigger number over there. So I like that number. Now, I did not have him making my Final Four. You did. But the case for betting him, if he can get to the Final Four, he's the best short flat track driver in the series right now. They started the season off bang, right? 3 of the first 4 or 5 races he wins, and then they've kind of gone quiet. We haven't heard much from him, but he comes into the playoffs. He's got the 5th most bonus points out of anybody that he's going to carry with him round to round, and I think the playoffs do set up pretty nicely for him. Gateway in the first round I think is going to be big. Bristol as well will be good. New Hampshire, that's a win for me. He is going to win there. He's so fucking good at New Hampshire. It's going to be Christopher Bell and Chase. Go ahead and just write this down right now. You don't even have to listen to the betting episode for New Hampshire. I would prefer if you did. But just bet on Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe because those 2 cars are going to be lights out ahead of everybody else. And remember this episode when that happens. So I'm penciling him into the round of 8 with that. And then getting into 8, Vegas in there, Martinsville, Talladega, of course, is the wild card. But I think he can certainly get to Phoenix. Even though I didn't have him go in there, you can't just be completely chalk on your picks. We got to shake it up and call some upsets and whatnot. But if he gets there, I want to have a ticket on him at plus 650 because the farther we get through the playoffs, this is where, all season long, these favorites have kind of just hovered around the same spot. But now, as drivers are eliminated and guys punch their ticket to the next round, numbers are going to start creeping down. They're going to get less because obviously their chances go up as others are eliminated. So I think this is the time to get in on Christopher Bell. I don't think you're going to get a better number than this at plus 650. That being said, keep an eye on things throughout the playoffs, because if we get to a third race in a round and somebody's way far behind, you might find a massive number on them if they're able to pull off a win, and then the next round they reset. So it's helpful for a guy like that. So, give me Christopher Bell at plus 650 and get that over on FanDuel. Chase Briscoe, I already gave him out as my champion at 20-1. Talk about a guy that if he can get to Phoenix, I already painted the path for him to get there before. Another guy, great at short flats. I think these two guys are going to be very, very dangerous there. So I guess count me in on the Joe Gibbs bandwagon for these two drivers at least. 20-1, you can get FanDuel, DraftKings, 365, quite a few places. A couple places he's down to 14-1, so I wouldn't wait too long. But, give me some Chase Briscoe at 20-1. And then, Rod, it wouldn't be outright picks for me if I didn't have a long shot sprinkled in here. So you're welcome. I'm going to do such. And that's Austin Cindric. You can get him 60-1 on BetMGM. He's a little bit lower in some other places, but my thinking here is that these playoffs set up really, really well for Penske. And everybody's going to look at Blaney. Everybody's going to look at Logano, as you probably should, right? They've won the championships, and Cindric hasn't quite proven it, but we've seen him be a champion and inches from back-to-back champion in the Xfinity Series. He's having a much better season this year compared to what he's had. He comes into this, where is he at? He's 10th in bonus points, so nothing crazy there. But I do like how this sets up for him. First round, Gateway, Circle Gateway for Austin Cindric. We will talk about him in 2 weeks when we go there. That's a track he could potentially win at and has won at, even as early as last year, I believe. But then you get into New Hampshire, Kansas. Those could be some good races. He's also a decent road course guy. When you go to the Roval, suddenly you're into Talladega, one of the better super speedway guys. I know he got caught up last week at Daytona. He can find his way to Phoenix, and maybe his teammates aren't there. Can you imagine Austin Cindric getting to Phoenix, having Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney not only coaching him? We know the mentality at Penske. Anything to get Roger the win. Whatever we have to do to get Roger the win, those guys will be sleeping. He will be in a bed with Ryan Blaney on one side, Joey Logano on the other side, imparting the last three championships into him. 60-1. Again, it's a long shot for a reason, but I think the case can be made that he could get there. And I am not counting Penske out if they get to that championship race because, well, look at the last 3 years, Rob.
No, and honestly, that's the fun part about this too, because you get that third Penske driver and it's 60-1. Is it going to hit? Probably not. But listen, if it is, what a fun story that would be to have that third Penske driver.
I know hedging isn't huge on this network, but if you get to 60-1 in the championship race, what if Briscoe and Cindric both get there and you got a 20-1 and a 60-1, and now you can hedge your way out with the other two guys? I mean, there's a lot of paths there. I know he's not going to make it to Phoenix, John. That's why he's 60-1. But what if he does? What if he does make it there?
See, and this is okay, here's the thing, guys. And if we've learned one thing over the course of the last couple of years, we can't ever say and make those statements that they will never. This is never going, because guess what? Crazy stuff happens, folks.
Yeah, and if you look back too, some of the people who have made it to the Final Four, think of Ross Chastain a couple of years ago. Yes, it took the Hail Melon to get there.
But he did it.
Yeah, but he did it, right? And he didn't win, but he went on to win the race at Phoenix the next year in the championship. And he wasn't in the championship 4. But if you can get to the championship 4, and that's what it's all about, and do not forget, Talladega is in the round of 8. If you can get to the round of 8 and you're the lucky guy who wins, skill as well, but who wins Talladega. Cole Custer almost did it at Daytona a couple of days ago, Rod. So if you can do it, suddenly you're in Phoenix. When you get to Phoenix, I don't think you can count any of the 4 drivers. I don't care who it is. If SVG finds his way there, I don't think you can count him out, because let's say Christopher Bell blows a brake rotor 6 laps into the race like we saw a couple of years ago, right? Well, now he's out. And then maybe Martin Truex Jr. pits and they put the tires on backwards. because we've seen that happen before. Now you've got 2 guys eliminated, and then the other guy goes out and gets caught up in a wreck, and SVG finishes 18th. And is that going to happen? No, it's not. But it could, and that's what you're looking at, right? It's if these guys can get there, there's enough things, and what a crazy story it would be, right? But there's enough things that can happen. And like if SVG is the only Chevy guy in there, Hendrick's probably opening their playbook. Like, don't count things out. And if Cindric is there, he's probably the only Ford that made it. He's probably the only Penske guy that made it. And that just increases his value a ton. So don't count him out, right? It's probably going to end up being chalk. But if we came on here and told you that and told you to bet Kyle Larson at -160 for the Final Four, would that be a lot of fun, Rod?
I don't think it'd be a lot of fun. Plus, it'd be irresponsible of us to not explore every Look, I've been reading enough comic books lately to know that alternate universes and pocket universes are all things that exist in this world, and we need to just embrace the chaos that is that. So, all right. Well, then that is the Cup thing. We have some bonus for you because we definitely dove into some championship. Huh? Was that?
Because we love you.
Because we love you. We love you a lot. So we're talking Trucks and Xfinity as well. Cody, you want to do Xfinity first, or you want to do Trucks first?
Well, let's do Trucks first because their playoffs are set, of course. So yeah, let's talk Trucks real quick. Just to remind you, if you don't know, to inform you, there's only 10 drivers in the Truck Series playoffs instead of your typical 16, obviously in the Cup Series, and then I think it's 12 in Xfinity. Yes, it is 12.
Yes,
in Xfinity,
it is.
But 10 in the Cup or in the Truck Series. They'll go through 3 races and cut 2 guys. And then, you get past the first round and you're into the round of 8 for them and locking up playoff berths 3 months before the championship race, which is what we last year from Corey Heim. So for the Truck Series, they do have 10 guys in there. It's Corey Heim, Lane Riggs, Chandler Smith, Daniel Hemrick, Tyler Ankrum, Ty Majeski, Grant Enfinger, Raja Caruth, Caden Honeycutt, and Jake Garcia. Those are your 10 guys, Rod. And they've got a similar path when it comes to schedule-wise. As far as the round of 8 and the championship race are all the 4 same for all 3 series. It's the Roval, it's Talladega, it's Martinsville, and then Phoenix to end it out. So they'll begin their playoffs with Darlington, Bristol, and New Hampshire.
Yeah, and so for those guys, obviously, still got a couple of breaks in the action for them until they restart again. However, when they get there, Cody, who do we think is going to win it all? They don't have any championship 4 odds for Trucks, so we just have to pick the winners in this instance.
Just straight up winners. Look, Corey Heim is obviously a massive favorite, right? But we've seen this story before. He was last year, and he did not win the championship. Zane Smith was the year before, and he barely won it. But the year before that, Zane Smith was similar to Corey Heim, not quite to this degree of dominance, but where he was a big favorite, and he didn't win it either. So we've seen it, and we've seen some people get upset. I mean, Hocevar last year, or was it 2 years ago, wrecked time in the championship race, like all kinds of crazy stuff. So, if you want to bet him chalk, I don't even have the odds up in front of me, but I think he was minus money even. So,
oh yeah, definitely. He was minus 130 to win it all on BetMGM.
Hard to bet that. He should probably win though, right? So just keep that in mind. So with that in mind, we're going to find places where we think we can get value. And Chandler Smith is one of those guys for me. You can get him at plus 550 over on FanDuel. Previous Phoenix winner, front row. They know how to win championships. They've done so with the aforementioned Zane Smith. And now they've got Chandler Smith. So the Smith brothers are in the championships for front row. Maybe it lines up. But plus 550 on FanDuel, I think that the number's good enough that he's kind of the first guy on the board where I'm like, okay, maybe he can be one that gets to the Final Four. Again, just get there. And you can win. Then Rod, Dos Flacco's checking in. He's got an easy answer, Rod. He says it's Majeski time. And I think that I agree with you. At 15-1, Ty Majeski won the championship last year. We don't have 8 rounds you got to get through, and you got to get through all. Get to the round of 8, get to the championship race. That's all you have to do. What do we have in these rounds? So first of all, short tracks in the first round, Bristol and New Hampshire. Love that for him getting to the next round. That should be fairly simple, right? Now, the Roval and Talladega are interesting in the playoffs for sure. Those could be some wild card stuff. But then Martinsville, he's going to be great there. If a piano doesn't fall on Ty Majeski, he's getting to Phoenix. And if he can get to Phoenix, he can win. He just did it last year. So at 15-1, I think that this number is just way too big. Again, yes, Corey Heim should win this. But you're looking for value when you're betting this type of bet. If Ty Majeski can get there, Corey Heim should have won last year, Rod. Remember when John Hunter Nemechek dominated the Truck Series a couple years ago? Didn't even make the Final Four. Audible gasp. So it can happen. Give me Ty Majeski at 15-1.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not going to argue with Ty Majeski just because if I do and he does, then it's going to be very difficult to backtrack on that one because obviously, like
and
you
if
said,
he doesn't, he's 15-1. Like that's the thing. Again, he's 15-1. He's already a longer shot. He's not supposed to win, but is he highly capable of doing it? He just did it last year. He's in the same truck. He's already locked up his future. He's going to be the 88 driver for the next 20 years with the Menards sponsorship. Like, he's fine. Yeah, he's been buns this year. Yeah, he's had some bad luck, but he's in the playoffs. If he can get through one round and then punch his ticket into the Final Four, all he has to do is go have one good race. We didn't think he could do it last year, and he did. So that's where I'm going.
I agree. John wants to know, how do you guys think Carruth is going to do? I think he will perform admirably. I don't see him advancing too far into the playoff round.
Does he get out of the first round? I mean,
I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's too strong with guys like Heim, Riggs, Smith, Ankrum, Majeski, Enfinger. Like, that's too strong of a field to go up
if
against.
He can, they don't even go to Las Vegas. So, like, you don't even have the big track for him to win on. Yeah.
It's tough, especially given where he's starting from. Yeah.
Not interested in betting him. Yeah, he's only 2 points to good going into this. Yeah. He's not been strong lately. No 1.5 miles, which you'd love. If there was a 1.5 miles, you'd love to see it. But, John, yes, Corey Heim should be the champion. Everybody knows this.
All right.
Of course, he should be the champion.
But if Corey's
not worth betting on. And if he's not, it might be one of these other guys.
It might be Lane Riggs, who, like somebody said up here, is waiting in the wings. Truth Matters saying Riggs is waiting in the wings. Yes, he is. And a plus 350, definitely my pick to unseat the greatest truck driver of them all. I mean, look, Bristol's in that playoff round, right? He finished 6th, did Lane Riggs, so he's probably going to advance out of that as well. And then, I mean, look, for Lane Riggs, it's just been him and Majeski. You got me saying Majeski too much. Him and Heim most of the time, right? And it's just a matter of which one of them on any given day is able to race their way out there. Now, a lot of what Lane Riggs has done up until now, it's been pretty much because he's been racing well this year, right? Last year was a good year for him as well. 2 wins, 7 top 5s, 10 top 10s. So pretty much equating to that as well. But he won Bristol last year, right? Finished 2nd at Kansas, finished 10th at Phoenix. So kind of rough there. 6th at Martinsville. Darlington, he finished 21st, so he had a rough run there. But, to me, this is just shaping up to be one of those duels between Lane Riggs and Corey Heim. So, and I think if Corey Heim doesn't do it, then I think Riggs really is waiting there in the wings to take this. And at plus 350, that's a hell of a better number than minus 130. So,
yeah, I mean, I would bet Riggs over Heim all day right now just because you're getting a bigger number. And Riggs has been the guy that's been able to hang with Heim all season. And what you have to remind yourself is all these races Heim has won, all this domination, and we've seen it in this format time and time again. Kevin Harvick wins 10 races, doesn't make it to the Final Four. John Hunter wins a bunch of truck races, doesn't make it to the Final Four. Guys make it there that should win and don't win. Something goes wrong. I remember, maybe it was Denny, somebody was talking about there's so much luck that goes into this. One thing goes wrong for Corey Heim in that one race. He could go, Rod, he can go and win at the Charlotte Roval, which is a good chance he will, on October 3rd, and lock himself into a Halloween night championship race. What could possibly go wrong on Halloween night in a championship race? He could be locked in for an entire month, and then a tire falls off after the first pit stop, and he's 2 laps down, and he's never able to recover. Don't forget that those things can happen, and that's what makes it tough to bet him as a favorite. So I endorse your Riggs thing here. For me, it was Riggs, Smith. I think they're close enough. I liked Smith at the bigger number, but and also I will leave you with this. Corey Heim finishes at Phoenix, 7th, 18th, and 7th, yet to win there, and has not won a championship in any of his attempts either. So, again, probably will win, should win, but he might not.
Yeah. I mean, again, anything can happen. Anything can happen if we've learned. I know, and there's some weeks where we tell you that the chalk is going to happen, but there's some weeks that we know that there's, especially in the playoffs, especially with everything on the line, these truck drivers get squirrely just at a normal race, not even a championship race, and we've seen that happen as well. All right, let's wrap things up with the Xfinity. Obviously, they are not there yet, but here's the disclaimer with the Xfinity, right? There are a couple of odds up right now that should these next two races go the way of a couple of these drivers, you will not find the championship number to be as high. You will, in fact, find this number at a minus number for at least one of these drivers if things go his way again next week. And then you go into the round of 4, and then if he continues on through and like he should, then you are not going to find this number at plus money. So you need to grab it now, lest you miss out on the opportunity to bid on him at plus money. But Cody, you've got a couple of longer shots that you like to start out with.
Well, I have a feeling you're going to make John very happy with your pick in the Xfinity Series, Rob.
I think so too.
Let's start with your two. I would like to go with yours first, and then venture into mine, because I think it would make sense to kind of paint it in that direction.
Okay, fine. So I'll give you both of mine because both of mine come from the same damn camp. It's the same story that I talked about yesterday or last week. I didn't talk about it. Cody, I dropped it in the doc to talk about for Cody last week in Xfinity. And it's as simple as this.
You were very wrong, according to some people, and very right, according to others.
Pay the men. Pay the men. But look, it's Connor Zilisch, right? Plus 175 for the rookie. And for good reason. The dude's just winning, right? That's what you got to do to continue to advance. And you can't argue with a guy that's won just about every single race that's out there, except the ones that he hasn't started, right? I know he hasn't, and I'm exaggerating, but only to prove a point. In fact, that plus 175 is a number you get now. Next week, you probably won't get that for sure. The week after that, you're not going to get that. If he continues to advance through to the round of 4, you will certainly not get plus 175 on Connor Zilisch. So this is the time to act now. If you haven't already, like I don't know if you got him pre-flop. I don't know if you got him in the beginning.
Hopefully you listened to the beginning of the season, Rod, because I gave him out at a much bigger number than this.
Much bigger number than this.
Yes, it was. I'll have to go back and look. I think he might have been as high as 12-1. I have tickets, so I will dig them out and find it. But whatever number we got at the beginning of the season, I really hope you fucking listen, because holy shit, he has obviously been more amazing than we thought he was going to be.
Yeah, he's been hammered down to no end. So plus 175 for Connor Zilisch. Don't need to really even make much more of a case than that, because that would just be belaboring the point. Then I'm going to take his teammate, Justin Allgaier, plus 225, another guy that when he continues to advance through these rounds, his number will continue to sharply decrease. The reigning champion, I mean, look, it's been Zilisch, it's been Allgaier. Like, these guys are just head and shoulders to me above the rest of the field when it comes to everybody else that's out there. And we talk about it pretty much every week with the Xfinity Series, how the chalk will rise to the top. And we've actually been frustrated by the fact that some of these longer shots just take themselves out, right? I mean, they're running well, and they run well for a lot of the race, and then all of a sudden something happens, and then the first 10 cars are all exactly the way they're supposed to be, right? It's JRM, it's JGR, it's Haas Factory. Like, it's the way it's supposed to be. So then if you expect anything less than that for the championship, then you're being silly. And if you think that you're not going to, or you think you're going to get better odds on Zilisch and Allgaier as the playoffs roll on, then you're silly. So you have to jump on these numbers now, because they're not going to be there for you in 3 weeks, in 4 weeks, in 7 weeks, 8 weeks. It's just not going to be there. So you got to jump on it now.
Yeah, if you want a favorite to bet, I would bet Zilisch over Corey Heim. Sorry, John. But I would. It's the Truck Series, and with Corey Heim in particular. Boy, how many times has he been leading and got wrecked, or overtimes? Like, things just go crazy and haywire in that. But, yeah, Zilisch, obviously, hopefully you got him at the beginning of the season at a much bigger number, but probably not going to see a much better number than this. These are short odds to bet, but it's pretty hard. Like, these two guys should be the champions. It should be Zilisch and it should be Allgaier. And I'm not going to argue with that. And I don't really like any of the other favorites. So I'm not going to bet any of the favorites. I'm going to stick to my guns with the Zilisch ticket I have from the beginning of the season. And I'm going to sprinkle 3 long shots because, Rod, I might have said this before, but if you can get to Phoenix, you can win the championship. That's how it works. That's what I'm looking for. So Zilisch is going to be there. Allgaier is going to be there. Let's pencil those guys in. But if 1 or 2 of these guys makes it in there, Zilisch blows a brake rotor, Justin Allgaier has a bad pit stop or piano falls. Again, you never know. So Truth Matters in honor of 666 episode is going to pick Austin Hill. He's only like 7-1 though. It's just gross odds. Like he's not even worth looking at. Plus everybody hates him. And he's just not, I don't know. But you go with that. So, all right, Rod. I'm going with long shot guys. And I'm starting it off with Brandon Jones, 20-1. Brandon Jones, I don't know if you know this, Rod. He has won at Phoenix before a couple of years ago. Back in the good old days when he was with Joe Gibbs Racing. By the way, that's where he's back once again. He did win here back in 2020, but he's been really good at this track. I mean, he finished 3rd here in the spring with a great run there. He had a 7th place finish last year, even with JRM. 2nd place finish here in 2022. I will say a lot of the time he's been better here in the spring, but he's got some positive fall races as well. He finished 3rd here in 2020 after winning that spring race. So really good finishes here. But again, he's the type of guy. And go back earlier this season when he went out and beat all of the Cup guys. Kyle Larson was in that race. Christopher Bell was in that race. I don't even remember what track it is. It doesn't even matter what track it is because he beat all those Cup guys out there. So could he go out and beat Connor Zilisch? Could he go out and beat Justin Allgaier? Sure, he absolutely could. And we've seen before where 3 JRM cars get to the playoffs, to the Final Four, and still get beat by a Gibbs car, Rod. It's happened. Thank you, Ty Gibbs, for cashing those big bets for us. So
the only ones he's cashed.
What's that?
The only ones he's cashed.
He's cashed just a lot of bets this year, Rod. A lot of top 10s. It's cooled off as of recently. We have not touched him as well or as much. But hey, and by the way, he finished 3rd here back in the spring too. I don't remember if I mentioned that earlier or not, but that win did come at Darlington. I don't remember. Xfinity is not in Darlington this week. They're in Portland, which is weird. But we'll talk about that more later on this week. But yeah, Jones is a guy who could definitely get it done. Taylor Gray's 40-1. Again, looking for guys that maybe they can put themselves in a decent position if they can get there. And I think Taylor Gray is a guy that could. He finished 6th place here in the championship race, in the Truck Series in the fall. He's only been here once in the Xfinity Series, but it was a 6th place run in his 3rd start with this team back in the spring. So could he put it together, and could he have a good solid day at 40-1? Again, yes, Allgaier and Zilisch are the guys to beat, right? But 2 other guys are going to get there, and if you can have big bets on them at big numbers like this, I like that. And then one more for you, Rod. I've really jumped on the Sammy Smith bandwagon here lately. Speaking of former Phoenix winners, they have got it done at this track in the past. Now, he was with JGR at the time. He's not been as good in the Junior Motorsports equipment, but that's okay. Could Sammy Smith get it done? He absolutely could. His 1 win this season came at Rockingham. Sure, there was some fuel mileage involved, but hey, it's a shorter, flatter track. He ran well there as well. 14th here in the spring, so you're going to need, obviously, a little bit of a better run than that. 4th at Bristol, though, so short tracks, right? He's run well, and he's coming into the playoffs here kind of hot. Again, the playoffs aren't set yet, but 7th at Indy, 2nd at Watkins Glen, 2nd at Daytona. A couple of good runs here as of late. 40-1, again, yes, Zilisch and Allgaier will be the championship winners, probably both of them, according to John. But long shot guys are going to make it there. If you make it there, things go wrong, which they can, right? We've seen Zilisch get too aggressive. I think they were talking about this on DBC today when I was listening. Zilisch has got that pettiness in him where he gets a little bit too aggressive, oversteps himself, right? He's still a very young kid. Make those rookie mistakes. A guy like Brandon Jones in particular, obviously Gray and Smith are younger guys, but Brandon Jones, a grizzled vet, if he can just make it there, should have made it there in that year Ty Gibbs won, but Gibbs wrecked him while he was leading at Martinsville. He was his teammate. What are you doing? But if he can get there, he's a bit, and that's probably why Ty wrecked him. He didn't want to face him at Phoenix. He went on to win the championship, so smart move by him. But yeah, give me Brandon Jones, Taylor Gray, and Sammy Smith. All at big, long odds. Again, as we get through the playoffs here, you're not going to keep getting odds like this on these guys.
Yeah, and again, the fact that they're all, definitely Sammy Smith locked into the playoffs for sure. So that's always good to have a guy locked in the playoffs.
And Jones is as well.
And Jones,
so,
yep, both of them locked in.
I guess we didn't really set that up, but yeah, there is 8 drivers that are locked in. So the Gray is not locked in, so he's got the potential to miss still.
But that's going to be rough though, because they would need two. They would need 2 first-time winners to knock them out, because it would be Burton hanging out last in 36 over the cut, and then Taylor at 67.
Just horrible races. And there's not many people below the cut. No,
because Jeb and Ryan and Dean.
I'm so interested to talk about Zilisch this week at Portland, because it should just be like a walk-away race for him. But with the collarbone, will it be? You'll have to tune in on Wednesday, Rod. All right, long episode, but thanks for joining us, everybody. It was a lot of fun talking playoffs, talking futures. We don't get a lot of time to kind of pause and, hit on the futures. And I know we've had some questions on them here recently. So great opportunity to kind of reset, rebuild your futures card as we make this run to the playoffs.
Yeah, and again, we've given you quite a bit to chew on. So go back through and take a second to just sort of digest everything. Like Cody said, reset the cards, and we'll go right back to racing talk and actual races tomorrow. So like you said earlier, thanks to the bosses for giving us the opportunity to talk about some futures, because it is a conversation to be had right around the playoffs times.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm excited. It's going to go have fun with these, with the playoffs here, and enjoy the rest of the racing we do have. It's sadly winding down. One more reminder, Rod, jump over on the NASCAR Bracket Challenge game. You can enter our group, is the NASCAR Gambling Podcast. Password is DGens only with a capital D. That'll get you in there. We're going to give the winner a hoodie there. And then I've also set up, if you're interested, I'm going to do $10 entry on this. So if you want to jump into the pool there as well, winner takes all, a little fun. Grid Rivals got their salary cap contract game. So I set up a league over there that's just going to run through the 10 playoff races for the Cup Series. All drivers will be eligible and in that. So a lot of fun as we kind of make the playoff run here. Just a little NASCAR playoffs league. So if you go over to the X at Husker_Zeeb, I've got that link tweeted out where you can join there, or hit me up offline.
Indeed. All right. Well, then, speaking of hitting you up, where can people hit you up as they set all of these fun contests and cards that we've given to them?
Yes, absolutely. At Husker_Zeeb, you can find all my stuff there. Been super busy lately. Heisman Best Bets article just dropped today, Rod. If you're into the college football stuff, been doing a lot more college football this year, which has been a lot of fun. Bunch of conference previews. You can still get in on a lot of those futures. More stuff coming out there as well. I was on MGM radio yesterday talking a little college football, so link to that as well if you want to go back and check that out. Shout out to those guys. I think they actually pay out their bets over at MGM, so props to them, unlike some other places. And yeah. All right, that's enough, Rod. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Cup Series Southern 500. Eric Jones week. Oh, I'm fucking excited.
Let's go. Follow me on Twitter at RJ Villagomez. Link in about everything I got going on, whether it's here, whether it is the in-between media. Check out Seth and Elliott this week as they will break down the Southern 500 for you over there on that channel as well. And, of course, my DGens only play of the day. We did badminton yesterday. Tomorrow, there will be a very good surprise waiting for you as well, so make sure you check that out. And, yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow with some Cup Series talk from Darlington. And until then, let's go racing and let it ride.